Everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Monday, only here on YouTube. Want to welcome you to the September 4th, 2023 special edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Actually, we're going to continue with the countdown of WNJR, but first I want to say thank you all for all the birthday wishes and salutations. Thank you. I am humbled by all the correspondence I received over the weekend on my birthday. And I still have some cake left, Joe Shacatano, if you want a piece of that cake. It's downstairs. It's in the refrigerator, so my sister's got to come over and have a piece. She left before we cut that cake, but there's a little bit left. But thank you all for that, as I am now part of the Medicare crowd. So anyway, that's the way it goes. But thank you all for being here. We're here from 1 to 3:30, and after we finish the countdown, I have, starting off at number 16, I have some records relating to Labor Day. We'll talk about it. It's not many records to choose from there, but there are a few. But anyway, we opened up today's show with tenor saxophonist Cozy Eggleston and his combo. That's the flip side of Big Heavy from February 1954 on Leonard Allen's States label out of Chicago. The song called Cozy's Boogie. And I have this both on the black vinyl and the red vinyl that I featured. I'll show it to you in a moment. February 54, Cozy Eggleston and his combo on the States label. Cozy's Boogie is the tune we open up with this afternoon. So let's start off the countdown here. We're going to start it off with number 16, a group out of Brooklyn, New York. It's on Reverend Alfred Crite Mason's label. It's really a rare record to find this on the original copy. I have to thank Spence for allowing me to purchase this record, because a lot of people need this 45, but the fidelity is not really the greatest, because it was recorded in the back room of a Harlem candy store, and the tune written by the lead singer, his name is Bernard Felton, and this one also released on Relic Records. I had it in my collection on Relic for a long time, until I had the original here. And of course, this survey, this WNJR survey, sponsored by Relic Records. So a lot of the records I played over last week and this week came out on the Relic label, as this one did, but this is on the original. 1958, coming in at number 16, the Thrashers on Masons. The song is called Genie.
Bunny, 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 bow. Baby, bunny, 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 Be my
Coming in at number 16 on the survey, the Thrashers there, Bernard Felton on lead, 1958 release. On the Masons record label, Genie is the name of the tune. You collectors out there, you got to get. I think it came out on Masons on red vinyl back in 1961. They repressed it, but it was easily available on the Relic label. Let's go to Philadelphia for entry number 15. This group out of Philadelphia. This is their debut single on Marvin Red Schwartz and Irving Nathan's J-Lin record label, which was also based out of Philadelphia. The song written by Joseph Parolo and Robert Finizzo, I think that's how you pronounce it. It features the lead singer on this, Tony Moresco, from May 1961. This is Tony and the Twilighters. Tony and the Twilighters on the J-Lin record label. It's called Be My Girl, number 15.
Early, 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 early.
Check that needle there. There you go. That's number 15 on the survey from May 1961. That's Tony and the Twilighters. That's Tony Moresco on lead. That one there on the J-Lin record label out of Philadelphia, Be My Girl. Their follow-up to this would come out on Red Top Records, a song called Key to My Heart. Now, Tony would also record as a member of the Dynamics on the Herald label. That's not an easy record to find. That's a hard one to find on Herald. And also recorded as Anthony and the Sophomores on Mercury. You know, play those oldies, Mr. DJ. That was the Gus Gossard theme song that he would open up his shows with. But it was unfortunate that he passed away. He was a diabetic, and I forget when he passed away, but it was a while back. But that one there, number 15, Tony and the Twilighters. Let's stay in Philadelphia as we go to entry number 14 on the survey. This is on Herb Slotkin's Grand record label. This is another rare 45. The group known as the Marquees, Marquees. In 1961, Grand would reissue this, changing the spelling of the name. I'll show it to you. I have the, it was my first copy, the reissue, Kees, but this is the original. Bought this from Joe Ronco at one of the Allentown record shows that I attended a long time ago, May 1956. Coming in at number 14, the Marquees on Grand. The song is called The Rain.
my darling, while sitting here watching the rain come down, I thought of my first love when I was young, unable to know that love at first sight is blind. I stumbled on, yes, with loving care, for this first love of mine.
Remind me, darling, remind me only of you, falling from the clouds to my heart. But someday, I'll be on the top, and you'll be just somebody's moon.
Lost my first love. Yes, knowing it was love at first sight, I learned to care for a second love, thanking God for showing me the light. All this, my love, came about because of the day you were there, just standing there in the rain.
Those are the Marquis. Marquis coming in at number 14 on the WNJR survey, May 1956. The Rain, that one there on Herb Slotkin's Grand record label. It's raining today. I didn't think we were supposed to get any rain today, and it's humid out. Got back to this hot and humid weather. I do not like the hot and humid weather. I do not. But let's continue here with entry number 13. It's the only release for this group from Elmont, Long Island. Came out on the Chelsea record label. Now, the members included Dom Benzavinga. He was the baritone. Ted Droelis, he was the second tenor. Ernie Edgerson, he was the first tenor. Roland Pinckey, another first tenor. And Sherman Walker, he was the bass. The group disbanded in 1960, but after two members enlisted in the military and had no idea that this record came out on the Chelsea label. And this song I first heard on the Gus Gossard Show, coming in at number 13. My first copy was on the Candlelight record label. Now, Wayne Sterling would secure the rights to release it on his Candlelight label in August of 1974. But this is from May of 62, the original version, May 62. The El Domingos on the Chelsea label at number 13. It's called Lucky Me, I'm in Love.
Bo 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 diddy bop. Bang-a-lang-a-lang, ba-ba-ba-ba-dum. Bang-a-lang-a-lang, bang-a-lang-lang, ba-ba-ba-ba-dum.
I took the jet along, I took the stars above, the stars above the world. What I was thinking of, I told myself the girl, and now I'm in the world. I'm in love.
Bang-a-lang-a-lang, ba-ba-ba-ba-dum. Bang-a-lang-a-lang, bang-a-lang-a-lang, ba-ba-ba-ba-dum.
I'm looking on the ground,
Entry number 13 on the survey there. Those are the El Domingos. May 1962, Lucky Me, I'm in Love. I have this record three ways. I have it on the Chelsea promo. I have it on the Chelsea stock copy. And I have it on, I showed you Candlelight Records. That was one of the first records I purchased back in 1974 when that record came out. Listening to Gus Gossard, and again, it prompted me to buy that 45. Let's continue here at number 12 now on the survey. It's the debut single for this group out of Newark, New Jersey, issued on the Milo label, which is out of Harrison, New Jersey. The song written by the baritone of the group, his name is Charlie Chambers, but it features Bobby Moore on lead, and he also co-wrote the tune. Let's go to the fall of 1960, entry number 12, a group called The Foremost on Milo Records. The tune is called I Love You at number 12.
Do up to do, boom ba boom, do ba.
I love you.
Do ba.
Yes, I do.
Do ba.
I need you.
Do ba.
And you need me too. Ooh, anyway, let me to stay, baby. I love you. Yeah, I do.
Boom ba boom boom, do ba.
I love you.
Do ba.
Yes, I do.
Do ba.
I need you.
Do ba.
And you need me too. Ooh, anyway, let me to stay, baby. I love you.
Yeah,
I do. Well, told you before, our love was true. You never leave me alone. But now you are always instead. You'll be back someday. I pray what? I love you. Yes, I do. I need you. And you need me too. Ooh, anyway, let me to stay, baby. I love you. Yeah, I do. Well, told you before, our love was true. You never leave me alone. But now you're gone, always instead. You'll be back someday. I pray what? I love you. Yes, I do. I need you. And you need me too. Ooh, anyway, let me to stay, baby. I love you.
Those are the Foremost there. That's with Bobby Moore on lead, the fall of 1960. That release on Milo Records, I Love You. I think this one also released on Relic Records in 1963. Now, the flip side also made the survey, so we're going to flip it over. So I wasn't so anxious to get that other rare record on the turntable queued up. But let's flip the 45 over because both sides are listed on that Danny Styles survey. Line it up here. There you go. And I think I bought this from Tom Klein at one of the record shows that I went to. This is the fall 1960. Let's flip over I Love You by the Foremost on Milo Records. And this is the flip side again with Bobby Moore on lead. The Foremost with The Breeze and I at number 12.
no longer care. The reason I'm always whispering goodbye. The dreams we used to share.
Those are the foremost. They're both sides of that 45 making the survey there at number 12. I Love You, backed with The Breeze and I. And that was Bobby Moore on lead. They would later record as Bobby Moore and the Foremost. Releases on Fantasy and DW and also the Redbird record labels. Johnny G here on a Monday afternoon as we are celebrating Labor Day. I'm not saying Memorial Day, it's Labor Day. And later on, after the survey, I have records relating to Labor Day. And there was one that I forgot. Tom Deal said I forgot to put in the playlist. I Found a Job, but we'll talk about that later. Let's continue here on the countdown. We go back to Philadelphia, PA for entry number 11. This group left Jerry Blaine's Josie record label in August of 57. It would be 3 years before they had their very next release, which would be 1960, came out on the Lost label, a very rare record to find on this Lost label. It would be reissued, though, on Gamut, G-A-M-U-T, in 1961, but I actually had to upgrade this record. I have a I have a whipped copy of this. I think it's Jeff Beckman's copy that I purchased originally a long time ago, but it features Franklin Peaker on lead, coming in at number 11. These are the Blue Notes from 1960 on Lost Records. The song is called She Is Mine. Coming in at number 11 on the survey there, those are the Blue Notes there. Franklin Peaker with that really high voice there. Franklin Peaker on lead, 1960, featured it on the original label Lost Records. She Is Mine is the name of the tune. They're probably best known really for their single My Hero that was played quite a bit by Gus Gossard. Actually came out on Value Records first in 1960, also on Jalen Records, and also on the Red Top label too. As we continue here, if you're new to the program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't know if I said that already, but tell your friends about it. Johnny G plays only original vinyl 45s, not always mint, but that needle, I had a new needle on there. I had to change it. Didn't sound too good on some of the four. I noticed it on Saturday night, so I had to change that needle. I did. Let's continue here. We are now in the top 10. The top 10 on Danny Styles' Kit Kat Club here, and WNJR Radio. And this is an a cappella group from Manhattan, New York. The group includes Neil Colello, Donald Lewis, John Loacono, Kenneth Pulcino, and lead singer Jimmy, if I say this right, Jimmy Gurensky. I think that's how you say it. Now, this is on, I think this label was owned by Bill Shabilsky, if I'm not mistaken, the late Bill Shabilsky, who I talked to, last year or a year and a half ago, because he wanted to sell me some records. And he was supposed to sell me, he said he had a mint copy of Bohemian Daddy. I offered him $3,000 for the record, and he said, I'll sell it to you for $3,000, but it just never materialized. So I don't know where that record is now. But anyway, but this is a cover of the Skyliners tune. They recorded this for the Calico label back in 1959. This record produced by Sal Donna, I think it's Rama, but it says Rama here that I have, and Billy Shell. This is from November 63. Let's give a listen to the Zircons. The Zircons on Mellow Wood. If I said Mellow Mood. No, Mellow Mood. Charlene, you got to change that. Mellow Mood, not Mellow Wood. On Mellow Mood Records, the Zircons with Lonely Way.
I'll go my lonely way. Now that you're gone, I'll walk a lonely street from dusk to dawn. If I can walk on, then I'll go my lonely way. Go my lonely way. You had to go your way. I don't know why. If friends should ask me, dear, what's my reply? That's why I'll go on and go on my lonely way. I had my chance for romance, to give my heart anew. But when you said goodbye, dear, you know you took my heart and soul with you. I'll say a prayer each night for your return unto your home again. My heart will yearn till you are in my arms again. I'll go my lonely way.
Acapella here on the Vinyl Treasure Show there. Number 10 on the countdown, November 1963 release, the Zircons. Zircons on Mellow Mood Records, Lonely Way. It's Skyliners tune at number 10. Let's move to number 9 as we go out to California. California for this release originally on the Bella label, which operated out of San Jose, California. This group had 2 releases on the Bella label. This is their second, co-written by the lead singer Euless Mason and the Martells. This is with the Bellatones Orchestra. They re-released this record in February 61 on Cessna. I have it on Cessna also, but the sound quality is better on the Bella release. And then again, it was released also on Relic. I showed you that. That was my first press of the 45. Let's go to November of 1960. Euless Mason with the Martells on Bella Records. It's called Forgotten Spring at number 9.
Do you recall that the moon was high and the night birds did sing? We pledged our young love, I to you and you to me, and promised always to heaven hold eternally. And now, my love, the moon has faded. The night bird song has grown old. Why you took your love from me, I'll never know, my darling. I love you so. And when the moon was high up above, you and I, darling, were making love. And now the moon is gone, the birds don't sing their song, and darling, I'm all alone. It happened in a forgotten spring.
As coming in at number 9 on the survey from November of 1960, Euless Mason and the Martells. That one there featured it on the first label, Bella Records, out of California, Forgotten Spring. Then in 1961, February 61, Cessna released it. I don't know what the issue was there with the 61 release, but I first had it on Relic Records. I showed you my copy on the Relic label. Let's continue with number 8. We go to New Haven, Connecticut with this group. We heard from them at number 30 on the survey. This number 30, they came in with their first release on the Anko label called Too Good to Be True. This was their follow-up, coming in at number 8 on the survey. This is on Joe Alderman's Anko Records, and it's a cover song. This was done originally in 1956 by the G-Clefs on the Pilgrim label. This is from January 58, number 9, with Richie Marone on lead. The Academics on the Anko label, and their rendition of the tune Darla, My Darling.
Oh, darling, my darling, I love you.
January 58 release there by the Academics, coming in at number 8 on the survey on the Anko label. That's their second release with Ronnie Marone on lead, Darla My Darling, a cover of the G-Clef's release from 56. Let's move to entry number 7. This group from Rochester, New York, they're called the Capris, not to be confused with the group by the same name out of Philadelphia that recorded for the Gotham label. This group had one release that came out on Lester W. Osband's Lifetime label, and I showed you this one also released on Wayne Sterley's Candlelight as a reissue on the Candlelight label. But this originally released in October 1959 comes in at number 7 on the survey. The Capris on Lifetime. It's called Oh My Darling, another Gus Gossett favorite.
Do 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 do.
That's coming in at number 7 on the survey. Those are the Capris. The Capris on the Lifetime record label, October 1959. It's called Oh My Darling. First time I heard that was on the Gus Gossett Show. I don't know, and all these, a lot of the copies, I guess, were disc jockey copies, so you get that somebody crossed it out there with the black magic marker there. I don't know if anybody has a copy without that black magic marker. I don't know. I forget where I bought that too. Wasn't a lot of money back in the early 1980s when I purchased that original release. Let's continue here as we go to record number 6, as we go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and with the Dell Vikings. Well, they left all of the Dell Vikings except one left Phoebe Records. They went to Mercury Records. Records, and all the members at the time were able to leave except one, that Crip Johnson. He was not a minor like the other members, so his signature on that contract was binding because he was 18 years old. And Phoebe lost the lawsuit after the name. They couldn't use the name the Del Vikings, so they did the next best thing. They called the group, because they still wanted to release records by the Del Vikings, so they called that release the Del Viking Crip Johnson. And this was a follow-up to Whispering Bells, coming in at number 6 from August 57. Crip Johnson on Phoebe Records. It's the Del Viking Crip Johnson, and the tune called I'm Spinning at number 6.
La, 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 la.
August 1957 release there for the Del Viking Crip Johnson there. I'm Spinning, the name of the tune, coming in at number 6 on the survey. That's on the Phoebe record label. Dot also issued it at the same time, but a shorter version. The Dot version was 1:46. This release 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And the WNJR survey also lists the flip side as being number 6 here. So let's flip over this 45 here. On the Phoebe release. You won't get this side on the Dot release. This is only on the Phoebe release. There you go. And again, the Dot flip side was When I Come Home, but this is the Phoebe flip side from August 57. Crip Johnson, the Del Viking on Phoebe. The B-side's called You Say You Love Me at number 6.
But I don't think you care. Why don't you love me and please treat me fair? You know I love you, tell me I'm the one for you. I toss and turn, dear, cry in my sleep. This love for you, dear, in my heart I keep. You know I love you, tell me I'm the one for you. The tenderness of your kisses is all that my
my poor heart can bear. So why don't you listen to my wishes and please treat me so fair? Once you said you love me, once you said you care. I love you dearly, it's more than I can bear. You know I love you, tell me I'm the one for you. Wow, 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 wow. Poor heart can bear. So why don't you listen to my wishes and please treat me so fair? Once you said you love me, once you said you care. I love you dearly, it's more than I can bear. You know I love you, tell me I'm the one for you. Wow, 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 wow.
Coming in at number 6, both sides of that 45, I'm Spinning, and the flip side, You Say You Love Me, with Crip Johnson on lead, the Del Viking, August 1957. Both sides making it on the survey at record number 6 on the Phoebe record label. We move to the top 5 now on the WNJR survey from November of 1964. Danny Styles' Kit Kat Club was the name of the show. And this group formed while attending high school in Charlotte, North Carolina. And this is their debut single, came out on LG Records. Tune written by the lead singer of the group. His name is Chris Harris Jr., and this was played a lot on WHIL in Boston, Massachusetts. And again, this record, first time I heard it was on the Gus Gossard show. It went on my want list, and I ended up getting one copy. Then I ended up getting a nice clean copy of it. And this is a clean copy from September 59. This is on styrene. I hate styrene 45s, I do. But at number 5 from September 59 on LG Records, the Delicardos. The Delicardos with Letter to a Schoolgirl.
Dear schoolgirl, I'm writing you this letter in the words of a song. And here's the reason why. I love you so much, my darling. I want the memory to linger on. Dear schoolgirl, the day we met, I thought it was infatuation, but when I held you tight, I felt a strange sensation. I love you so, I love
Coming in at number 5 on the survey, the Delicardos. Delicardos, their debut single on the LG label, September 59, Letter to a Schoolgirl. And I never really listened to the lyrics of that song. Interesting. He's 21. I wonder how old she was. But anyway, this group also had releases on United Artists, also the Shell label, Imperial, and also Atlantic Records, too. But I remember hearing that quite a bit on the Gus Gossard Show back in the early 1970s. Let's go to entry number 4 for this. It's actually surprising that this record is entry number 4. This group from Camden, New Jersey. They first backed up Jerry Evans on a label called Row Records, R-O-W-E. Then at the same time, actually that same recording session, they had their own single, tune written by the lead singer. His name is Pat Sapia. Pat, S-A-P-I-A, Sapia. And it was first released also on the Row label in mid-1962. Then it was picked up by a label called Technicord. And I don't know if Technicord was out of... I think Oradell, New Jersey. That's the same label that the Connotations recorded before I Go. I think that was the first release on Technicord. This was the very next release on Technicord. And the issues on Technicord, it was interesting, comes 2 different ways. The first way is the shiny red label, and the second way is that flat maroon label with silver writing. I showed you both copies because I was lucky to find both presses of that. They were a quarter each at the 303 Drive-In in Orangeburg, New York, a long time ago in the 1980s. Somebody had both copies. It was so maybe something associated with that group. I don't know, but Louis Silvani says the Technicore label is out of Oradell, New Jersey. But this is from September 62, coming in at number 4 on the survey. The Off Keys. The Off Keys, I'm playing it on the Technicord label. It's called Singing Bells at number 4.
Hear those singing bells, ring ding a ling a ling a ring ding a ling a ling a ding dong, ring a ding a ling a ling a ding dong, ring a ding a ling a ling a ding dong, ring a ding a ling a ling a ding. Listen to those bells, they're ringing for you and for me. They're ringing for now we'll be together forever. And sweetheart, at last I found you. Found the one who really loves me.
That's entry number 4 on the survey, the Off Keys. Off Keys with Pat Sapia on lead. He also wrote the tune, September 1962 release. Featured it on the Technicord record label. That's my cleanest copy. Actually, both Technicords I have are clean. The Row label is okay. It's got a scratch in there, but the Off Keys there. Singing Bells is a pretty nice record, I have to say. As we move to record number 3 on the survey, it's the only release by this group out of Richmond, Virginia. In the June 30th, 1958 edition of Billboard magazine, there was a blurb about Arrow Records and its subsidiary Bow Records. They announced they signed 2 acts out of Richmond, Virginia, managed by WANT disc jockey Bill Gibbons. The acts were Dora Tapp, who was assigned to the Arrow label, and this group that was assigned to the Bow record label. And it comes in at number 3 on the survey, October 1958. They're called the Chuck-a-Lucks. The Chuck-a-Lucks, and if you bought this record at the Relic Rack, you bought it on the Candlelight record label. Wayne Sterling secured the rights to this and put it out on Candlelight Records, but it was originally on the Bow label. The Chuck-a-Lucks on Bow. It's called Heaven Knows, parentheses, I Love You, from October 58. It's number 3.
Heaven knows I love you.
Heaven knows I love you, the angels do too. But darling, I wonder, do you? Oh, darling, please say it's me you adore. You adore. The stars, how they twinkle and sparkle at night. The moon, yes, it glows so yellow and bright. Oh, darling, please say it's me you adore. Your letters were so sweet and gay. But darling, I'm blue since you went away. Yes, I love you, darling. Want you for my own. Oh, darling, I love you. Oh, heaven knows I love you. The angels do too. But darling, I wonder, do you? Oh, darling, please say it's me you adore. Please say it's you I
That's entry number 2 on the survey. Those are the Chuck-a-Lucks. The Chuck-a-Lucks, I lost my place. There you go. October 1958 on the Bow record label. Heaven Knows I Love You is the name of the tune. I think in the Echoes of the Past magazine that just came out, that trade publication, Nay Nasser, he said, does anybody know anything about the group? Well, there you go. Somebody needs to tell him that group is from Richmond, Virginia. It was in the trade magazines. Sometimes you got to look. Sometimes when I can't find any information about the groups, I kind of, in the search engine, I'll type in the group name or the label and see if it comes up either in Cashbox or Billboard. And sometimes I do get that information. Then you can read about it. It's pretty interesting. Those little blurbs that they used to put into those, Cashbox or Billboard or Record World, too, as a matter of fact. Johnny G here on a Monday. If you're new to the program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell to get notifications. I'll be back on Wednesday evening with the Soul Show beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 to midnight. And that's also streaming live on Old Oldies and More Radio. I'll be back Saturday night at 9 p.m. for the 1950s and early 60s. Lots of requests on the Saturday night show, so send them to me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Let's move to record number 2 on the survey. Interesting record to make it to number 2. This group from Mount Vernon, New York. The members were Chuck Smith, Richard Elter, Gary Stern, and lead singer Don Niceta. I think that's how you say it. Collectively, they were known as the D-Vines, D-E-E-V-I-N-E-S. They first backed up, I think, Neil Stevens on Brunswick back in 1958, but this was the group's second release. Came out on Rocco Catalano's Lano label, which is out of Portchester, New York, which is actually pretty close to where Johnny G is. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with Larry Chance and the Earls version of this song. But this tune, I think it was first done back in 1952, I think, by Jane Froman. She did it on the Capitol label, and who had the big hit? Frankie Lane, I think, had the big hit with this. But let's give a listen to this version, coming in at number 2 on the survey from September 1960. I have the promo of this, the white promo. This is on another color label. I forget is it yellow, if I'm not mistaken? I don't know, but I only have the promo. September 1960, The Divines on Lano Records, and their rendition of the tune I Believe at number 2 on the survey.
I believe I hear the rain that falls, our flowers grow. Oh, I believe that somewhere in the darkest night, our candle glow. Oh, I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe, oh, I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer will still be heard. Oh, I believe that someone in the grave somewhere hears every word. Oh, I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe, oh, I believe. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or die to leave, or see the sky, then I know why I believe. I believe.
That's coming in at number 2 on the survey, the D-Vines. D-Vines version of I Believe, September 1960 release. It's on the Lano record label. We finally made it to record number 1 here. Number 1 on the November 1964 WNJR survey, Danny Styles' Kit Kat Club. And this he hosted this show, Danny Styles, his Kit Kat Club, in November of '64. At least this survey is from that time period. Now, this group here is originally from Brooklyn, New York. Their debut single came out in 1955 on Morty Kraft's Do Re Mi label. Their manager, Larry Lucy, he set up a recording session and recorded them, and the only instrument presented on that, or that was present at that recording, was the stand-up bass and just their voices. And the lead singer was Johnny Malone. He was on lead, and he was echoed by Vernon Staley's amazing tenor voice. So I'm going to play the original version of the record, and then I'm going to play the one that was featured by Danny Styles as the number one. He wasn't playing this version, but this is the original version, and a really tough record to find if you have this on 45 or 78. So let's give a listen to the original recording from 1955. This was not played by Styles, but we'll do the contrast of the two because they are different tempos. So here's the first way from 1955 on Do Re Mi, the mellow harps, and the title was called Love is a Vow. That is the debut single for the Mellow Harps from 1955 on the Do Re Mi record label, Love Is a Vow. I almost flipped when Greg called me up and asked me, he said, "Do you need this record?" I said, "Yes, I do." So he goes, "Well, how much is it?" So he was hemming and hawing, and he really sold it to me at a good price. It was 4 figures, but I took it, and it really plays pretty nice, I have to say. It's got a couple pops in it, but listen, I'm happy with it, I will say. But there you go. That was the number one record, but that was not the one played by Danny Styles. So what happened is, after this release on Do Re Mi, the group would sign with Tin Pan Alley Records. They had 3 releases on Tin Pan Alley. Then in September of '56, the group re-recorded Love Is a Vow. It's a bit faster, and they released it on the Rego label, Rego Records. They had an earlier release by the Dungaree Dolls, but it was the second release on the label, the Teen Tones. They changed the name of the group to the Teen Tones, again with Arnold, Johnny Malone on lead, and Verlin Staley with the high falsetto. And then in July of '59, it would be reissued on a label called Karen Records as the Levy Songsters. So I don't know what happened with that. Somebody may know the background to that. I would like to know, that is for sure. And came out on the Karen label. Then in 1964, it came out again on the Relic label. I think is the Levy Songsters, if I'm not mistaken, I think. But anyway, but I'm going to feature this on the Karen label, this reissue here versus the Rego, because this one plays a little bit better, and this was really the number one song on the WNJR survey hosted by Danny Styles. This is on the Karen label, July '59, the Levy Songsters, aka the Mellow Harps, on Karen. And the title here, little changed, it's called Our Love Is a Vow. This is the number one record.
Let you go. You know, deep in your soul, that I love you so. We took a chance in not knowing that our romance was still growing within our heart. Within my heart.
It's the number one record on the WNJR Danny Styles Kit Kat Kingdom Countdown show there. That one there, number one, the Levy Songsters from July '59. on Karen Records, Our Love Is a Vow. We got some time to kill now, so since it's Labor Day, let's round out today's show with songs that relate to the holiday. I stretched it just a little bit here to include certain words in the title, like work and job and maybe money, and there are not too many records to choose from, and there are hardly any ballads, I'd have to say. Maybe some mid-tempo, some interesting sides though. But before I feature those, I'd like to play a special birthday song for Vicky. I just had my birthday on Sunday, yesterday the 3rd, my 65th birthday, as I start this new chapter in my life. And listener, or I should say, Tom Shaughnessy's wife Vicky is celebrating a birthday today. So he told me that last night, and I want to send this record out to her, this group out of Woburn, Massachusetts. It's their debut single. Came out on Frank Pappalardo's Casa Grande label. It would be picked up by Checker Records for national distribution in July of 1957, but the Casa Grande release came out in May 57, and the tune written by Gilbert Lopez and his sister Margot Sylvia, who was also the lead on this, and this was a big hit. So Lenny, you should have heard this on the radio back in 1957. It was number 7 on Cashbox, 5 on the Billboard chart, number 4 on the Billboard R&B chart, and a number 1 record in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. So let's send this one out. Special request to Vicky, the wife of Tom Shaughnessy, on her birthday, May 57, the Tune Weavers on Casa Grande. It's called Happy, Happy Birthday Baby for Vicky.
Happy, happy birthday, baby. Although you with somebody new, thought I'd drop a line to say that I wish this happy day would find me beside you. Happy, happy birthday, baby. No, I can't call you my baby. Seems like years ago we met on a day I can't forget, 'cause that's when we fell in love. Do you remember the names we had for each other? I was your pretty, you were my baby. How could we say goodbye? Hope I didn't spoil your birthday. I am not acting like a lady, so I'll close this note to you with good luck and wishes too. Happy, happy birthday, baby.
They cut that little ending off on the Checker release, though. That's only on the Casa Grande release. So that's going out to Vicky. Vicky celebrating a birthday today, the wife of listener Tom Shaughnessy. They're the Tune Weavers. Margot Sylvia and the Tune Weavers, their debut single from May 57. Happy, Happy Birthday Baby is the name of the tune. Well, let's start it off here as we celebrate Labor Day here. This group from New Orleans, Louisiana was formed by singer Ernest K. Dorr Jr. Now, of course, he would go on to have a solo career and have a big #1 national hit. I'm sure many of you know the song called Mother-in-Law. That was in 1961, but before that, he was the lead singer of this group. They were called the Blue Diamonds, and this was their only release. Came out on Herman Lubinsky's Savoy record label out of Newark, New Jersey. Let's go to July of 1954 for the Blue Diamonds on Savoy. Now this relates, remember, this has money in the title. Here you go. It's called No Money. These are the Blue Diamonds.
Oh, baby left me 'cause I didn't have a lot to die. Yeah, baby left me 'cause I didn't have a lot to die. No, didn't have no money, nothing to spend for time. Yes, it's a dirty, dirty shame if you don't have no money to spend. Oh, it's a dirty, dirty shame if you don't have no money to spend. Oh, reason why I know that's what a shape I was in. Yes, I'm gonna move up in town and I never, never looking back. Yeah, move up in town and I never, never looking back. Yes, I'm gonna find my baby 'cause I sure want her back. Oh, yeah. Buy chicken, money buy steak. You don't have the money,
In heck of a shape.
I'm gonna move on now. There's a run down shack. 'Cause I just got luck and I'm looking for my baby back. Do you help me? Bum, 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 bum.
There you go. Those are the Blue Diamonds. Blue Diamonds from July 1954. Ernie K. Doe on lead there. Ernie K. Dorr Jr., his real name. Blue Diamonds on Savoy, a song entitled No Money. Well, you know, you need to have some money, so you got to be working out there to make some money to buy the things you'd like. That is for sure. And let's move on to this next tune here. This next song has the word Maggie in the title, so I'll have to send it out to my mother. Her name is really Dominica, but her friends know her as Maggie. She's always been under that name for as long as I remember, but I just call her Mom. You know, she's tuned in, she's watching and listening here. She always does. She's my biggest fan now. And here are the Platters with their 6th release on Sid Nathan's Federal record label, and it's not with Tony Williams on lead. It's actually a duet with David Lynch and Zola Taylor, and they both get writer credit on this. It's from December of '54. Let's give a listen to the Platters. The Platters on Federal Records, and it's called Maggie Doesn't Work Here Anymore. The Platters.
My name is Maggie. The story you're about to hear is true.
Maggie, 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 Maggie. One sweet little gal, Maggie was her name. Maggie used to work, what a working dame. But Maggie doesn't work, Maggie doesn't work anymore. Maggie made a fortune, so Maggie doesn't work anymore. Maggie had a job, she worked that day or night. Anytime she worked, she really worked all right. But Maggie doesn't work, Maggie doesn't work anymore. Maggie made a fortune, so Maggie doesn't work anymore. Work, 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 work. Work, 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 work. Work, 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 work.
Who, me? No, baby. I'm tired of pushing the clock at 8 in the morning and then going back pushing it at 3. I took $15 down the horse track the other day, put it on the back of an old gray mule, and let him walk around the corner and bring me a whole fortune. Fur coat, Cadillac car, tough crib. What else could a girl want?
Maggie had a friend when Maggie went away, but none could take her place because Maggie had a way. Oh, Maggie wouldn't work, no one else could work her anymore. Since Maggie made a fortune, no one else could work her anymore. Now isn't it a shame that Maggie went away? They up and closed the factory when Maggie wouldn't stay. No, Maggie doesn't work, Maggie doesn't work her anymore. Isn't it a shame that Maggie doesn't work her anymore? Work, 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 work at the factory. Work, 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 work at the factory. Work, 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 work at the factory.
You know what? I got it made, 'cause I'm living the life of Maggie.
Maggie made a fortune, Maggie doesn't work her anymore.
That's our tribute to Labor Day there. Maggie doesn't work here anymore. She does work here in this house. She made that birthday cake for me, among other things there. She made a really nice baked ziti on Saturday when my niece Stephanie was here with her husband with the great-grandchild. They came here, and she had some chicken parm. It's really too much for her, I think. She really can't do that anymore, but she does. She still does it. It's amazing what she has done all these years. But those are the platters there. December 1954, David Lynch and Zola Taylor on Federal Records. Maggie Doesn't Work Here Anymore. Now, this was their last single on Federal before they signed with Mercury Records. Now, Federal would release 3 more on their label after the group signed with Mercury Records. I think their first was Only You. They cut that for Federal, kind of like a crude recording of Only You, but they put it out, a different version, at the same time that Mercury had that hit with the Platters. Let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. We just heard this group from Brooklyn, New York, came in at number 1 on the survey, the Mellow Harps. Their first of 3 for Tin Pan Alley. The A-side was an excellent ballad called I Love Only You, but this is the flip, a tune written by the second tenor of the group. His name is Joe Gowder, and he's also doing lead on this. This is from December of 1955, the Mellow Harps on Tin Pan Alley. The song is called Ain't Got the Money, the Mellow Harps.
Ain't got the money, ain't got no time, ain't got nothing at all. I'll tell you something, I've got plenty of love. Ain't got the money, ain't got no time, ain't got nothing. time ain't got nothing at all, but I've got plenty of
There you go with the mellow harps there, December 55. With the Labor Day theme, Ain't Got the Money. That's on the Tin Pan Alley record label. That is their first release on Tin Pan Alley. And let's go to this next group. They formed in 1953 at McClymonds High School in Oakland, California. They got their name from the song Danny Boy, when they say the pipes are calling. That's where they got the name of the group. And this is their first of two on Dootsy Williams' Dutone record label. This is actually the flip side, the B-side to their song called Be Fair. And the tune written by the baritone and manager of the group. His name is Huey Roundtree, and he is also the lead singer on this. Let's go to February of 1956 for The Pipes. The Pipes on Dootsy Williams' Dutone record label. It's called Let Me Give You Money. The Pipes.
Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. I love you, baby. Oh yes, I do. I love you, baby. I love you too. I love you, baby. I'm through and through. I love you, baby, till I don't know what to do. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Why don't you look, 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 you won me, baby, long ago. Yes, pretty baby, I really know. But pretty baby, I didn't believe. Now, pretty baby, I'm on my knees. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. I love you, honey. Let me give you money. Let me give you money. Let me give you money. I love you, honey.
Those are the Pipes. I stretched it a little bit. I did. I found how I found the records. I took Ferdy's disco file, which I saved it. It's on Word files, and I called up each of the letters of the alphabet, and I searched a sequential search for certain word work, job. What else did I use? Work, job, and money. I think I couldn't find anything under labor. But then I was like, well, maybe what about fired? Because people do get fired, and then you find your job again. I know that happened to me 3 times. It's no fun losing your job, especially when you work for employment at will state. They can call you in tomorrow and say, we don't need you anymore. That's the way it is, and you really can't do anything about it unless you can prove discrimination. If they get rid of all the older people. That has happened before. So anyway, I could tell you all about it. But anyway, there you go. Those are the Pipes from February 56 on the Dutone record label. Let Me Give You Money is the name of the tune. And they would have, I think, another release on the JC label in 58. On JC Records in 58. Anyway, let's continue here with the theme. This group out of Detroit, Michigan, and it's on Devorah Brown's Fortune record label. This group recorded for Fortune under 2 different names, and they backed other artists on the label. They recorded both as the Don Juans, and they also recorded as the $5. I think they had 6 releases as the $5. Their last one was in 1960, a song called My Baby-O, which I really like by them. But this is their 3rd release as the $5. It features Little Eddie Hurt on lead. It's a song he wrote. Now, the flip side of this is a cover of the Four Buddies' I Will Wait. But maybe this was the A-side of the 45. October 1956, the $5, Little Eddie Hurt on lead, the $5 on Fortune. It's called Hard Working Mama.
Get out of that bed, woman, and get to work.
I'm tired of working. Oh, hard working mama, don't you wanna work for me? I said, hard working mama, don't you wanna work for me? It's you, pretty mama, can't you see? When you wake up in the morning, breakfast waiting for you. Yes, when you wake up in the morning, breakfast waiting for you. When you catch that bus, oh, how I feel blue. Get that poke. I would work for you, pretty mama, if ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh,
Those are the $5. The $5 with Little Eddie and the $5 on Devorah Brown's Fortune record label, that legendary label out of Detroit, Michigan, from October 56. Hard working mama, as we celebrate our day off for all you workers out there. I am retired. I retired last year, May 6th, but I'm still working because I'm still assisting here. I have to help my parents here. I actually get paid by the state, which is a good deal that I get, so I have to help them with the things that they need to do. They're really good, though, but they do need a little assistance. Let's continue here as we go to the Bronx, New York. This duo had 16 releases between 1956 and 1962 on High Weiss's Old Town record label. This is their second release. They are Robert Carr and Johnny Mitchell, but you know them as Robert and Johnny. And when you work, okay, you reap your positive things from your work, and it's really, and I know because my nephew told me about this because he works for General Motors. He relocated down to Texas, And when he started, and he wasn't working at all, but when you start working and you receive a paycheck and you have this money that you never had before, it gives you a great feeling. I know it did to me. And then you could eventually have $1 million bills, yes. And this is from October 1956. This is Robert and Johnny on the Old Town record label. Their tune is called $1 Million Bills.
I really love you. Baby doll, sugar pie, you got something money can buy. Oh, I love you. Oh, yes, I do. Baby doll, sugar pie, ooh, I've got millions, all dollar bills, can't buy your things. I need you, oh yes I do. I need you, I do. Money can buy sympathy anymore. I love you, yes I do. Say that you love me too. I've got millions, all dollar bills, can't buy your things. I need you, oh yes I do. Baby doll, sugar pie, ooh, baby doll, sugar pie,
October 1956 release there, the second release on Old Town Records for Robert and Johnny. That's Robert Carr and Johnny Mitchell. $1 Million Bills is the name of the tune. Of course, their big hit, We Belong Together. I had a copyright issue with that song. I mean, it's been a while since because I like that record. It was a 45 that my aunt had in her collection. But as I like Robert and Johnny, I do. A lot of people do, by the way. Let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure show. And I just featured this group from Knoxville, Tennessee on Saturday night. Actually, Chuck Mitchell requested the flip side of this. The August 26th show, I think it was. My Heart Trembles, this group out of Knoxville, Tennessee. This is on Herman Lubinsky's Savoy record label. This is their it says third release here. I think they had two, but they backed up a single artist on one of their releases. But this song features Clifford Curry. He's the lead singer on this. This is from April 56. It's on Savoy Records. Let's give a listen to The Five Pennies. The Five Pennies. Again, this with the Labor Day theme. And I stretched it a little bit because the name of this tune is called Money. The Five Pennies.
Money, money, money. Money, money, money. Money, money, money. Money, money. Hum, do you hear? Money is a thing every year. Oh yes, do you hear? Money is a thing every year. trash. You can't do it broke, I gotta have some cash. Do you hear? Money is a thing every year. Money, money. Give me some money. Ooh, money, pretty baby. Come on, got to have money. Please give up the money. Money, money.
There you go, as we do our Labor Day special there. Those are the 5 pennies. They're out of Knoxville, Tennessee, April 1956 release on the Savoy record label. Money is the name of the tune. That's with Clifford Curry on. Lee went on to have a big solo career, Soul 45's, on Elf and other labels. But this group later recorded as the Four Jokers on the Sue record label, and also backed up Freddie Scott on Arrow Records, his release on Arrow as The Chimes. Johnny G here, filling out the show here with Labor Day songs, or songs related to work, work ethic, etc. This next group out of Philadelphia, PA, this is their debut single on K. Williams Jr. record label. Of course, this was their biggest hit. And once Dick Clark debuted this song on American Bandstand, it took off. And K. Williams worked out a deal with Al Silver. He was the owner of the Herald and Ember record label, to issue this nationally. And this was a big hit. I don't think I'll get a copyright issue with this, because I don't play this record that often at all, but it was a big #1 hit on the Billboard chart, and many of you should know this, but I'm featuring it on the first press on the Junior label. If yours says Junior Records, that is actually a second on this, but it should just say Junior Records. And I bought this from the Count. It isn't really the cleanest copy, but it's the original before the Ember release. Let's go to November of 1957. We couldn't play this on Labor Day. Well, we would only be able to play, well, this is a good record to play on Labor Day, I should say. The Silhouettes, Bill Horton and the Silhouettes on the Junior label. The song is called Get a Job.
Dip 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 dip. Sha-la-la-la, 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 dip 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 dip. Get a job. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. You raise me money to buy this time to get me out of my bed and find me a job. You wrap your breakfast every day, so you know the one is right my way. I never fail to say. Well, when I get the paper, I read it through and through, and my girl never fails to say, if there is any work for me. I then go back to the house, hear that woman's mouth, preaching and crying, tell me that I'm lying about a job that I never could find. Sha-la-la-la, 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 dip 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 dip, sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. If there is any work for me, I then go back to the house. I hear the woman's mouth, preaching and crying, tell me that I'm lying about a job that
There you go. Those are the Silhouettes. That is Bill Horton on lead. The Silhouettes, their debut single, featured it on the original label, Junior Records. You may own it on Ember Records, November 1957. Get a Job is the name of the tune. Sometimes it's not that easy to get a job, but there is a job out there for anyone. Really, it is. But you really should stay in your specialty. I was going to be a CPA when I went to Pace University, and I was in the CPA prep program, and I took the test. I passed it with a 65, but I didn't go into public accounting. I went into private accounting. Now, maybe I made a mistake. I really should have gone into computers. But eventually, the problem was I stayed so many years at one company, and I really should have moved out when those headhunters would call me up, and they say, Johnny, I have a high manager spot at such and such a company. I was just you have to move when you get the chance, because that's really the only way you're going to really get to the next level. I mean, eventually I was a controller, but I never really made it higher up to VP, which is really what I wanted to be. And not that I couldn't do it, because then after that, when you get too old, you really can't find a job, because they want younger people. They don't want older people. So, and then you have all the base knowledge. So that's when I worked with Resource Global Professionals. They hired me. They liked my background. They loved my resume. They said, we can put you anywhere you have, because I was in planning, forecasting, planning, general accounting, all types, tax, all these different things. So, and then when I went to a utility company in New Jersey, and because I worked for Sony Music for 6 years, and I helped them with their downloads, just with the Apple downloads at the beginning, at the start, back in 2003 or 2004. They just started with the digital downloads. They didn't know how to account for it, so I created all their spreadsheets, how they would really, be able to manage their funds and their profits. And then I worked for the utility company, and I really wasn't a tax guy, but they said, you want to work here? And I said, well, if you make it worth my while, because I hated the drive into Newark, New Jersey. I hated it. But I was there for almost 10 years, and then I decided to retire last year in May. But I really learned a lot in my career, at least in accounting. But anyway, we babble on here. Let's continue here. We have an interracial group out of Philadelphia, PA. They had one release on the KY label out of Chester, Pennsylvania. They were known as Jim Giacono and the Jays. And this is from July 1958. And it features Herb Carpenter on lead. And this song is called Take My Money. This is Jim Giacono and the Jays from July 58.
Take my money, take my gold, take my car, yeah. Take my soul, but leave my love, leave my love. Take me, baby, I don't mean maybe. Take me, baby, I don't mean maybe. Take all of me, oh, but leave my love. Take my money, take my love, take my heart, take my soul. Take my money, take my love, take my heart and my soul. But leave my love. Take my money, take my gold, take my car, dear. Take my soul, but leave my love, leave my love. Take me, baby, I don't mean maybe. Take me, baby, I don't mean maybe. Take all of me, oh.
There you go, Jim Giacono and the Jays. That one there with Herb Campbell on lead, July 1958. That's on the KY label. Take My Money is the name of the two now. 1961, they also recorded as Jimmy J and the Jays on the Salco label. I do have that 45 in my collection. All I know is when I started making some decent bucks, it all went to my record collection. I used to buy records every week. I did, but I was able to afford it because I hate having debt over my head. I hate it. I knew I wanted to get credit cards, and I knew that as long as I charged everything and was able to pay for it at the end of the month, it was going to work. So that's how I really managed everything. But let's continue here. Let's go to this group out of Detroit, Michigan. The lead singer of this group would be so instrumental in assisting Berry Gordy Jr. with his Motown empire. But early in his career, he was singing doo-wops, and Berry Gordy Jr., prior to those the Motown days, had a connection with East Coast record mogul George Goldner, and this was the debut single for this group, The Miracles. It features Smokey Robinson on lead, and this, I guess, is an answer song to the record we just played, a few records ago, Get a Job. And this charted number 10 on KWBR in Oakland, California. Let's go to April of 1958 for The Miracles. Smokey Robinson on lead, The Miracles on the N label. It's called Got a Job.
Walked all day till my feet were tired. I was low, I just couldn't get hired. Saw a sign in a grocery store, help is slight, and we need some more.
I got a job.
Sha-da-da, sha-da-da,
I got a job.
sha-da-da, 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 sha-da-da,
I got a job.
sha-da-da, sha-da-da. Oh, I finally
got a job.
Sha-da-da, sha-da-da. You've been hounding me to get a job, well I finally did, and the boss is a snob. He's on my back nearly all day long. It seems like everything I do is wrong, but I finally
got a job.
Sha-da-da-da, sha-da-da-da.
He says to me,
Get the boxes, take 'em to the basement, do the job right or I'll get a replacement. You get the mop and clean the dirty floors, and when you finish, wash the windows and the doors. Finally,
got a job.
sha-da-da-da, sha-da-da-da. Well, this man's about to drive me stone insane. One of these days I'm gonna have a fit, and though the thought keeps running through my brain, I
Never quit my brand new job.
working all day and I'm working all night and I'm working all day and night.
He says to me,
Get the boxes, take 'em to the basement, and do the job right or I'll get a replacement. Get the mop and clean the dirty floors, and when you finish, wash the windows and the doors. Finally,
got a job.
sha-da-da-da, sha-da-da. Well, this man's about to drive me stone insane. One of these days I'm gonna have a fit.
never, never quit my brand new job.
Working all day and I'm working all night and I'm working all day and I'm working all night and I'm working all day and I'm working all night.
There you go, as we keep the labor theme there. Got a Job. That's The Miracles. Smokey Robinson on lead, their debut single from April 58 on George Goldner's End Records for that one. But just as easily as finding a job, you can just as easily lose your job, either by your own means or just downsizing, or they just don't need you anymore. So you got to really be careful when you sign up for a job. But listen, I think I was fired, I think 3 times. And isn't that fun? Because, I didn't want to, in my early days, I didn't want to work on the weekends. I mean, if I was because I wasn't getting paid, and I said, well, I wanted to watch football on Saturday. I didn't want to come into, when I worked for Ingersoll Rand, and they were like, well, you have to come in on a Saturday like everybody else. I said, I do? You're not paying me for Saturday. So they said I wasn't a team player. So they wanted me to go to some convention out in California, and they said, well, I'd like to go, but he goes, well, we can't send you because you're not a team player, and you need to do this, and this before. If you don't do these things by the end of the week, we're firing you. I said, really? I says, I can't do these. Your managers don't even do these things. So I knew I was a lame duck then. So, but really, it's you got to be careful in the jobs there, because you got to really like what you're doing. But believe me, I had so many experiences with that. I could tell you about it on another show. But anyway, but I'll relate to this next record here. This group called The Mistakes. This one came out in June of 1959, and the originals of the originals came out in 1959. Slim Rose of Times Square Records was able to resurrect this song in 1961, so they were repressed. A tune written by Samuel Feldman and Mike Shepard. This is on Leo Rogers and Sid Archie's Lo-Fi record label out of New York City from June 59. Let's give a listen to The Mistakes. The Mistakes on Lo-Fi. The song is called I Got Fired.
Wake up in the
little boy, won't you get out of bed?
All you gotta do is get a job. If you don't get a job, you're the mom. If you don't get a mom, I
June 1959 release. They're called The Mistakes. The Mistakes on the Lo-Fi record label. I Got Fired is the name of the tune. The only thing you got to be careful of, if you do lose your job, you need references. So you got to make sure you have your references there. I mean, if you really lost your job because you really messed up, then, because sometimes they need a scapegoat too, so you got to be careful. But you got to know how to deal with it. You get to deal with the higher ups. I know I have. So you had to know how to deal with the VPs and the executives there, because if you don't, you're going to get fired. Anyway, Johnny G here on a Monday afternoon. Let's continue here. And this is probably the second rarest record on Joe Carlton's Carlton label. The first is by a group called the Capitals, and this is the second, a group called the Spices. And the other side of this song, the other side is called "Tell Me Little Girl." That's really the side I bought this 45 for. But the flip side is related to the Labor Day theme that I'm featuring. It's from March '59. These are the Spices on Carlton Records. It's called "Money, Fortune, and Fame." The Spices.
Come along.
Oh, come along with me. Come along with me. Little girl, come along with me. I'll buy you anything you please. I ain't got money for today. Little girl, come along with me. You can have my money, but take my babe, 'cause I need honey, a girl to pray. I've got money for today, this girl come along with me. Take honey, have it baby, how about babe, that's my name. Honey, but you can have my money, 'cause I need honey, a girl to pray. I've got money for today, this girl come along with me. Take money, love it baby, how about babe, that's my name. Money, fortune, tell me little girl, what you gonna do? Tell me baby, or else we're through. I ain't got money, fortune, babe, little girl, come along with me. Yeah, yeah, come along with me. Oh, 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 come along.
There you go. Those are the Spices there. Spices from March '59. Money, Fortune, and Fame. That's on Joe Carlton's Carlton label. That's the second rarest record on the Carlton label. The first one is the Capitals with "Let Her Go," is a rare one on the label. Let's continue here. Let's move into 1960 here with this group out of Cleveland, Ohio. They first recorded as the Five Lyrics on the Music City record label. Then they just became the Lyrics. Actually, their next release, I think, was on the Bridge label. And then this release on John W. Stevenson's Cowtown label, which is out of Avery, Texas. The tune written by the lead singer, his name is Isaac Perry, and he goes by Ike Perry here on the 45. It's from April of 1960. This is Ike Perry and his Lyrics. It's on Cowtown Records. This is an interesting title for today. You can be my honey, parentheses, when you get the money. This is Ike Perry and his Lyrics on Cowtown Records. Here you go.
You can be my honey if you got the money. You can be my honey if you got the money. You can be my lady if you got the money. Oh, we could play around wild town, oh, well, upside down. You can be my honey if you got the money. You can be my honey if you got the money. Oh, we could play around wild town, turn the whole world upside down. You can be my honey if you got the money. You can be my honey if you got the money. If you get the money, you're gonna be my honey. If you get the money, we're gonna rock and roll. If you get the money, you're gonna be my honey. Money, 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 money,
That's April 1960 release there for Ike Perry and his lyrics. That's on the Cowtown label. You can be my honey, parentheses, when you get the money. But I never said that to Barbara. So that's not me. That's Ike Perry saying that. Johnny G here as we start to close down here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And let's venture over to Sauk City, Wisconsin. This is on Jim Kirchstein's Sarah label. He also owned a label called Kuka Records. Not many group records on the Sarah and Kuka labels, but there are some like this one. This group is out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. When first presses of this came out, they were called the Supremes, but they were forced to change it by another Supremes group, and they became the Supremes 4, and that's how I have this. This is their lone release from March of 1961. Usually I play the flip side here, My Darling Patricia, but the flip side here, very interesting here. The Supremes 4 on Sarah Records. It's called I Lost My Job. Yeah, I lost my job and I have to find another. These are the Supremes 4.
Woke up this morning, it was kind of late. Feeling bad from my last night's day. Grabbed the phone and called my boss. He said, no use, then your job is lost. I lost my job and I've got to find another. I lost my job and I've got to find another. I lost my job and I've got to find another. I lost my job and I've got to find another. Got up the nerve to tell off the boss. Now my goodness, my job is lost. I lost my job and I've got to find another. My mother tells me to get in the street, to get a job, to buy something to eat. I
if there isn't any work anywhere. I love my job.
I love my job and I've got to find another. I love my job and I've got to find another. I love my job and I've got to find another. I love my job and I've got to find another. Got up to learn, shut off the bar. Now my goodness, my job is lost. I love my job and I've got to find another. The grocery store, no work here. And at the shoe store, no work there. And at the bakery, no work here. And at the factory, no work there. No work here, no work there.
Well, that seems as if there isn't any work anywhere.
At the grocery store, no work here. And at the shoe store, no work there. And at the bakery, no work here. And at the factory, no work there. No work here, no work there.
Now that seems as if there isn't any work anywhere.
I love my job and I've got to find another. I love my job and I've got to find another. I love my job and I've got to find another. I love my job and I've got to find another. Grab the phone and call my boss. He said,
There's no use starting your job.
I love my job and I've got to find another.
Holy mackerel, mama. Oh, baby. Mama, I got to get a job. Holy mackerel down. What am I doing?
There you go. There, those are the Supremes 4 from March '61. That's on. That sounded like that Mistakes record, didn't it? Sound like that Mistakes record? I lost my job, and I've got to find another. Yes, it did. And let's go back up to Detroit now, to Mike Hank's MRC record label. Now, MRC stands for Mike Hanks, his first name, Ronaldo Jackson R, and Chuck Hentley's. Their initials. They own that label, I think, or they were partners in the label. But this is from 1962. The group is called the Leaping Flames, and it features someone by the name of James Ingram on lead. And this song is called "It Hurts Me to Work." The Leaping Flames.
Bom, 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 bom. Da da dee, choo-be doo be, 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 da da dee, choo-be doo be. Wow 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 wow. Well, da da dee, I feel so bad. Da da dee, I really feel blue. Now that I've got a job.
Out of Detroit, Michigan there, those are the Leaping Flames. It's not an easy record to find, too. It's not, my copy's not mint either, but I bought it from Ralph Barton at the Allentown, PA show many years ago. 1962, the Leaping Flames with James Ingram on lead. It Hurts Me to Work is the name of the tune. That's on MRC Records. Well, not when you really love it. You got to really love your job to be able to work. Now, my brother, he owns a company called Celeritas Solutions, so he's always working. And when you're a CEO, you know, you always have to be available. It was funny when I worked for the utility company. It was like, you know, Cliff wanted me to be available 24/7, and it was like, well, wait a minute here. I'm not an executive. If I was on that level, then I would make myself available. I didn't take the job that way. I wanted to do my record collecting is what I did. But anyway, Babylon here. We're going to close down here soon. Let's go to Passaic, New Jersey for these gals. You know their debut single back in 1958. It was called I Met 'Em on a Sunday, but they also recorded for the Decca Folks, and then they recorded for Florence Greenberg's Scepter record label. They had 35 releases between the years 1958 and 1968. This is the B-side to their 14th release. The A-side was a big hit. It was called Foolish Little Girl. It was a record that Murray the K used to pushed a lot and played on his program. But this tune written by Ron Miller and Lee Porter, this charted number 29. This did make the chart somewhere. 29 on KIMN in Denver, Colorado. It features Shirley Alston on lead. I'm really pushing it now for the Labor Day theme here, but it's from March of 63. The Shirelles on Scepter. It's called Not for All the Money in the World.
I would trade your love for the love of another guy. I would trade your love for all the money in the world. Not for 1,000, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Not for 1,000,000. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Not for all the money. Oh, in the world.
Those are the Shirelles. I don't think that's Shirley on lead, Charlene. That's Dolores, the other girl who sang lead on Dedicated to the One I Love. I think that's her on lead. But those are the Shirelles from March of 63 on Scepter Records, Not for All the Money in the World. 2 more 45s to go before Johnny G signs off here. And this group is from Camden, New Jersey. They recorded for the Swan record label out of Philadelphia. They had a national charted song with a tune called That's Life, That's Tough. They were backed up on that one by a girl group called the Swans. But this is their second release on the Swan record label. This group consisted of George Jones on guitar, Pete Colangelo on trumpet, Richie Bruno on bass, Al Hobbs on the drums, and the lead singer is Rick Gabriel Kellis. And they recorded as Gabriel and the Angels. This is from January 63. It's on Swan Records. It's called All Work, No Play, Gabriel and the Angels.
All work and no play makes Jack a president. All work and no play makes Jack a president. There's been a lot of Jackson Jones in history, even in the nursery rhyme. They even got a saying about a Jack that did no playing, but this Jack's a different kind. Let me tell you now, all work and no play makes Jack a president. All work and no play makes Jack a president. Little Jack Horner might be sitting in the corner in the nursery rhymes, but Jack won't sit in corners like that little Jack Horner. He never wastes his time. Let me tell you, Jack, all work and no play makes Jack a president. All work and no play makes Jack a president. He's always on the job each and every day, and so are the rest of his family. Now if he keeps on working, now I know that he is certain to go down in history. Yeah, all work and no play makes Jack a president. All work and no play makes Jack a president. Whoa, all work and no play makes Jack a president. Yeah, all work and no play makes Jack a president. Whoa, yeah.
What does that say? Makes Jack a president? Is that what they said on there? I don't know what they said on that one there. But anyway, there you go. That's Gabriel and the Angels, January 63. That's on the Swan record label, All Work and No Play. Well, that's what Johnny G is, all work and no play. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to these cool 45s out of my collection. If you want to get in touch with me, you can send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. That is for requests and also for nice correspondence that I've been receiving from the listeners. Thank you all for that. It takes me a while to read all the emails that I get, but I do that when I have time. Thank you all. Don't know what I'm going to do for next Monday afternoon, but we'll think of something by then. But thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed the countdown, the WNJR countdown there. And again, these records relating to Labor Day, I guess I'm stretching it a little bit. But I'll be back on the air on Wednesday evening beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 9 to midnight, it's the All 60s edition. So those of you that like soul music, tune into that show. Again, I'll be back on Saturday night with your requests, 1950s and early 60s. We do the records chronologically on that Saturday night show, and then I'll be back here on Monday with something to play. So thank you all for tuning in. Really, as soon as I get this place cleaned up, which I have starting to make a dent, we'll be having guest collectors up here on a Monday afternoon. So please stay tuned for that. Thank you all for tuning in. If you missed any of the program, it'll be on momentarily on YouTube. Also, you can go to my website, vinyltreasures.net. You can stream or download the show there. And also, we stream live on Wednesdays on Oldies and More Radio. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Our closer tonight, this afternoon, I'm really stretching it with this group from Brooklyn, New York. It is a female lead with male backing. I think the guys backing her up were members of the Van Dykes on Spring, and also the Van Dykes that recorded for King. And this tune written by Winfield Scott, this is their third release on the Laurie label. The lead singer on this, her name is Inez Williams, and this is from October 63. They're called The Charmers. The Charmers on the Laurie label. The song is called Work It Out, as we have today. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to get my lunch, and I will see you next time right here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Also, thank you, Charlene, again, for all your help. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
Work out. Come on, daddy. Work out. Come on, honey. Work out. Come on, baby. Work out. Yeah, dance with me, baby, to the new sensation. Shake it, shake it. It's got to work out. Shake it, shake it, shake it to the new vibration. Come on, baby. Do the workout with me. Get set, ready, 1, 2, 3. Now work it out. Shake it, baby. Work it out, work it out. Shake it, baby. Work it out, work it out. Shake it, baby. Come on, come on, come on. Shake it, baby. Do the workout with me. Get set, ready, 1, 2, 3. Wind yourself and touch your shoulders in motion. Shake it. Let's do the workout. Shake your body like a wave in the ocean. Come on, baby. Do the workout with me. Do the workout with me. It's a new sensation with a new vibration. Work it out. Work it out. Oh yeah. Work it out. Well, get in circulation. Join the celebration. Work it out. Work it out. Oh, work it out. Work it out. Now work it out. Shake it, baby. Oh, work it out and work it out. Shake it, baby. Let's work it out. Let's work it out. Shake it, baby. It's a new sensation with a new vibration. Work it out. Work it out. Oh yeah. Work it out. Well, get in circulation. Join the celebration. Work it out. Work it out. Oh, work it out. Work it out. Now work it out. Shake it, baby.